Look closely at the friction between the natural world and the industrial engine. We face immediate, compounding crises, like severe climate changes and widening resource inequality, operating in direct conflict with standard daily business operations. In a traditional capitalist economy, a firm's success is evaluated by a rigid standard, its financial performance, and the absolute primacy of generating returns for shareholders. For decades, corporate strategy operated under the assumption that prioritizing sustainability was an idealistic, money-losing endeavor. Executives viewed social responsibility as a philanthropic expense rather than a core economic strategy. Operating with tunnel vision on top-line revenue blinds a firm to systemic vulnerabilities. Clinging to a profit-only mandate actively threatens a company's ability to survive in a market that aggressively demands adaptation. To reconcile the drive for profit with these compounding global crises, structural economists rely on a concept known as the triple bottom line. This chalkboard drawing illustrates the framework, dividing corporate responsibility into three intersecting pillars: people, planet, and profit. The mechanical shift required here is rigorous. Firms must commit to measuring their social and environmental impact with the exact same scrutiny they apply to their financial performance. Harvard Business School professor Rebecca Henderson has extensively documented the structural flaws of the old profit model. Her research presents a clear thesis. Solving global environmental and social problems is not an act of charity. It presents trillions of dollars of untapped economic opportunity. Modern, purpose-driven leaders are beginning to capture this specific opportunity, using ecological and social initiatives to actively drive their firm's success. The new strategic baseline is clear. Adopting sustainable business practices functions as a massive, highly lucrative economic engine. We must establish the economic reality. Financial performance and shareholder return remain necessary for a firm's survival. This diagram maps the architecture of the triple bottom line, starting with the green hexagon, profit. Traditional strategic planning is generally designed to maximize this profit by aggressively reducing costs and mitigating localized risks. The modern realization is that leaders can deploy their operational resources to effect positive global change without sacrificing those traditional financial metrics. Modern profit operates as an integrated metric, directly enhanced by a firm's broader operational impact on the world. Shifting focus to the red hexagon, the second component measures a business's societal impact, or its commitment to people. This requires a structural distinction between a firm's shareholders, those who own stock, and its stakeholders. Stakeholders encompass the entire human ecosystem impacted by business decisions, including customers, employees, and local community members. Internally, companies serve these people by implementing strict fair hiring practices and incentivizing workplace volunteerism. Externally, firms execute this by forming strategic, long-term partnerships with nonprofit organizations that share aligned, purpose-driven goals. Value creation must extend beyond the boardroom to ensure a resilient, actively supported workforce and community ecosystem. The final component of the framework, shown here in the blue hexagon, dictates a firm's direct effect on the planet. Since the Industrial Revolution, large corporate entities have operated as the primary drivers of global pollution and compounding climate concerns. This chart visualizes data from a 2022 International Energy Agency report, showing the global energy industry alone released 135 million tons of methane directly into the atmosphere. To correct this trajectory, virtually all businesses have access to actionable pivot strategies, switch to ethically sourced materials, drastically cut energy consumption, and streamline shipping logistics. Reducing a corporate carbon footprint serves a dual purpose. It addresses the environmental crisis while acting as a rigorous operational efficiency upgrade. We can move past the theoretical framework and look directly at empirical market data to prove the return on investment. An IBM consumer report analyzed modern purchasing habits to test the financial viability of sustainability. This data visualization illustrates their findings. Exactly half of all consumers are now willing to pay a premium price for sustainable products. Researchers categorize this group as purpose-driven consumers, buyers who strictly align their brand choices with their personal and ethical values. Looking at this sustained data layer, we see purpose-driven consumers represent 44% of the market, making them the largest single segment. This behavioral shift extends directly into high-level capital allocation and institutional investment strategies. Investors track this performance using ESG metrics. ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance, a quantitative standard used to measure a company's real-world impact. These metrics function as an independent third-party audit. They hold businesses publicly accountable to the sustainable procedures they claim internally. The financial proof is documented. Evidence repeatedly shows that firms maintaining strong ESG metrics produce measurably superior financial returns. The market mechanism is active. Firms that ignore the triple bottom line are actively surrendering available capital and market share to their competitors. Evolving a legacy corporate strategy into a modernized, purpose-driven initiative is a highly complex logistical operation. Professor Henderson warns that capturing these new financial opportunities takes, quote, both real courage and grindingly hard work. This operational pivot does not execute overnight. It demands incremental, measurable steps executed by individual leaders uniting around a specific cause. While the transition is arduous, this exact operational friction serves as the crucible where true corporate innovation is forged. Firms that establish a shared purpose beyond simply extracting revenue immediately capture the first-mover advantage. Implementing a shared values-driven purpose structurally forces a firm to become both more highly productive and systematically innovative. This methodology relies on dense empirical evidence, supported by institutional backing from academic centers like Harvard Business School. Henderson offers a final axiom for leadership. Bringing personal values into corporate strategy has become a baseline requirement. Aligning corporate mechanics with human values converts ethical choices into a measurable competitive advantage in a volatile market.